Well, you know, it was on this date, maybe not a Monday, but it was 10 years since the city of Cleveland and the nation witnessed a true miracle. 3 heroic Cleveland women, 2 who were kidnapped as teenagers, were trapped and tortured for nearly a decade by Ariel Castro, and they were found alive on May 6th, 2013. So we're almost to that date.
Yeah, a few doors down from where they were held in captivity was a church where a pastor held vigil after vigil, praying that the girls would be found safe, many times in the face of what folks thought was never going to happen. Carmen Blackwell sat down with that pastor today. Carmen, what is he saying 10 years later?
Oh, well, he's saying a lot. He's reflecting on the times that he held all of these vigils and gathered the community together for prayers and supported the family. The church, Emmanuel Evangelical Lutheran Church, once served as a command post for law enforcement and the FBI during the investigation. And now, 10 years later, 93-year-old Reverend Horst Hoyer, the former pastor of the church, tells me that finding the 3 women alive was the greatest miracle that he has ever witnessed. The church is at the corner of Scranton and Seymore Avenue, about 3 doors down from Ariel Castro's home, where the girls were held for nearly a decade. Now, Reverend Hoyer had been a pastor of the church since 1980. He recalls holding more vigils than he can even count, gathering the community together, and he tells me that together praying for a miracle, that one day those girls would return home. And he remembers doing an interview with a reporter at the church in May of 2013 when she received a phone call and something astounding happened. The 3,800-pound bell that's inside the church, once a staple of that church that rang every Sunday, rang for the very last time on that day, the day that Ariel Castro confessed.
The minute that bell started ringing, the good lady got a call on her cell from her partner at the courthouse and said, Castro just confessed this very second, with the ringing of the bell. Now, as a man of God, as you say, I looked up to the Lord. You did it, Lord. That bell never made another sound. Stopped.
Well, that bell had been functioning inside the church since 1904. It broke that day and would cost the parish thousands of dollars to repair. Reverend Hoyer also tells me that the neighborhood has changed quite a bit in the last 10 years since the miracle in Cleveland. There's been a renaissance of the area, as what he calls it, a lot of new buildings and infrastructure. I'll have more tonight on 3 News at 6 for you.
I remember that day so well.
I bet you do. I know, it still shocks everybody.
Still, I get chills.
Of all of the news that you can hear, I remember thinking that's one of the most unlikely things. Everybody said, wait,
the
what? I mean, it was just a miracle. There's no other way to say it. And we're going to have much more on it throughout the day. Carmen, thank you very much. Coming up tonight at 7 right here on 3 News, it's the miracle in Cleveland 10 years later. How Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight, now Lily Rose Lee, have transformed a decade after being rescued from that house of horrors on Seymore Avenue. That and so much more in our From Tragedy to Triumph special. Again, that's tonight at 7 here on 3 News.